I have something different today. I haven't covered a bone conduction headset on this channel because for the most part I've really covered audio devices that you listen to for music enjoyment. But let's say you like to exercise, you like to be outside, or maybe you need to be in an office environment where you need to be able to hear your coworkers, or you just don't like having things in your ears, or maybe you even have a certain kind of hearing loss where your eardrums aren't functioning. Then something like a bone conduction headset can actually be really helpful. The advantage with the bone conduction headset over some of the others is it keeps your ears free. Got it right here. So when you wear it, I can even wear it with a hat, you can see it fits. It's not interfering with my hat. It's right back here. I've got plenty of space. So if my head was bigger, I still have plenty of space for this to fit, even though it looks really tiny. When you just look at it, it looks like my head's not going to fit that, but it fits fine. It's a typical shape for bone conduction headset. You have buttons here. You've got a plus and a minus, and the plus and the minus buttons allow you to control volume. You can control playback, you can answer and reject calls, you can end calls, and you can summon your voice assistant, all with just these two buttons. And you have this USB-C port. It is a USB-C charging port. It's not proprietary. You can see it right there. And it's got this rubber gasket to keep it protected, because although it doesn't say anywhere on the box or in the documentation, the company let me know that it is IPX5, so you can run with this in the rain, you can exercise outside, you can sweat on it. You just don't want to dump it in water, you don't want to shower in it. Would you shower in it? You don't want to do that. It does have that IPX5 rating, so it is good for use outdoors and when you're sweating and exercising, and again, just when you don't want your ears closed off. So that is really the big advantage of bone conduction, right, is that it keeps your ears open. So it can help protect your hearing because you're not blasting things into your ears and potentially damaging your eardrums. It transmits the sound through your skull, through your bones. So you have a little bit of an edge there when it comes to safety. You still don't want to blast. You can still damage stuff, but you have less of a chance of damaging your ears directly because of the transmission of the audio. These use the AAC Bluetooth codec. They offer 10 hours of battery life, and they take about 1 hour and 15 minutes or so to charge from empty. They are very lightweight and they're very inexpensive. And if you haven't heard of this brand and you do a little bit of looking around on their website, you'll find that pretty much everything they make is relatively inexpensive. I didn't see anything on their website that cost more than $100. So they have a couple of different bone conduction headsets. This is the B21S. And I think that about covers the basics. So let's take a closer look at this headset and see what it has to offer. So here we are with a closer look at the Sanag B21S. You can see that we've got plastic build. Here are the controls. You've got the plus and the minus button and the USB-C port that I mentioned. You can see it here a little bit closer. Got the rubber gasket on it, but it is standard USB-C, so you don't have to deal with anything strange and proprietary that you might lose. This will charge from just a simple USB-C charger. We don't have anything really special on the transducers themselves, just a little bit of decorative molding here. On the other side is smooth, and then on this side, the side that doesn't have the controls, you have the branding. And then you have this flexible but not moldable band, and this is typical. Most of them will stretch to fit your head, so your head could be pretty wide, but you've got enough length here that most heads will fit in this particular headset. You got your ear hooks, and again you've got that smooth rubbery section on the inside where it touches your skin, so you won't have a whole bunch of discomfort, or you shouldn't have a whole bunch of discomfort from this because it's not hard plastic, it's soft, kind of a soft silicone here on the inside. And this is really a typical design. It's very similar and reminiscent of the OpenRun Pros that I also have from Shokz. I mentioned these. I've had these for a little while, and they are extremely similar. You've got the same kind of approach with the transducers and the ear hooks and the bodies with the controls. This one, though, because it uses a proprietary charger, you can't lose the cable that comes with this or you won't be able to charge it. It keeps it open, so you don't have to have a rubber gasket on it because this is sealed. But because it is proprietary, you lose your cable, you've got to buy another one from Shokz. And again, similar with the branding on the side piece here. The difference here is this one has button, and it doesn't have a specific silicone pad, but it is smooth plastic here. I think that this silicone one will feel nicer to the touch because it's just a little bit smoother and softer than this hard plastic on the Shokz. But it's really not a big deal until these things start to vibrate. And we can talk about that as we get into sound. So as you can see, their design is very similar. They're about the same size in terms of their headbands. And the way they lay, you can see that they are very similar. So the concept here is pretty well established with bone conduction headsets. They're all basically very much like this. So it's not out of design with anything else that you'll find on the market. But what I did find is that these are a little bit lighter. And so that's because they're a little bit more plasticky. There's not really a lot of metal, if any metal, in this build. But that keeps it light, so it's less likely for you to feel it on your head after a time. And as you saw, I had plenty of space in the back of my head for this band to fit. So even if you have a bigger head, I think you'll find that you can get a decent fit with this. So again, it's IPX5 rated. As long as you keep this little gasket closed, you'll be protected from water. You can use it when you're sweating and when you're exercising. So what is the big draw of something like this? Well, I talked a little bit about safety in the opening. It keeps your ears free. It can help protect your hearing as long as, again, you're not blasting your head. And it has, the typical things you expect from Bluetooth. It's got decent battery life with 10 hours. You can charge it to full in less than an hour and a half. And although it doesn't come with a case, it's much cheaper than the Shokz OpenRun Pro that I just showed you. You can buy a case for them separately because these bone conduction headsets are pretty similar. You can probably find that it'll fit in a bone conduction headset case that you choose, if that's what you want. So let's talk about sound. Now, bone conduction headsets are not necessarily known for having pristine audio. You don't really buy a bone conduction headset because you want to go and listen to your favorite symphony or rock out to your favorite rock songs or pump through all of your hip-hop and R&B list. That's not really the point of bone conduction headsets. You can listen to music on them, and people do, because when you're exercising, having some tunes can keep you going. But the audio quality for bone conduction has always lagged behind your typical true wireless earbuds and your typical over-the-ear and on-ear headphones. Where bone conduction headsets really shine is in the mid-range. So they've always been very good for spoken word. Do you like to listen to podcasts or audiobooks? Do you like to maybe watch movies? That kind of thing works really well with bone conduction because they have a really good spoken word presentation. However, when I did do a comparison of these against my Shokz, I was actually pretty surprised at how decent these sound for bone conduction. I have always kind of shied away from doing anything other than podcasts with bone conduction because they just sound so bad. But here, with the app, you have EQ presets. You have 6 different ones. You've got the default preset, which is pretty balanced. You've got a rock preset, which I'm going to tell you right now, if you're sensitive to how bone conduction vibrates on your face, maybe maybe stay away from the rock one because it vibrates the most out of the 6, or at least it vibrated the most for me of the 6, because it's really trying to pump up the bass. It's really trying to give you, even more mids, even more vocals. Everything's just kind of pumped up and pushed in your face a little bit more with the rock preset. I found the ultrasonic pop one to be a nice step back from the rock, but a step up from the default preset. You get a little bit more bass presence. You get a little bit more clarity on the high end. There's also classical preset, there's a lyric preset, and then there's a soft preset. And those kind of do what you expect. The classical is gonna kind of push up edges a little bit, not so much that it's V-shaped, but just so that you can get your clearer highs, but you're also gonna hear the bass and the bassoons or whatever is at the low end. And the lyric obviously is going to push the mids a little bit forward so you can hear vocals and spoken word better. And then soft is going to smooth everything out. So just the fact that it has EQ presets is kind of unusual for bone conduction because, again, for the most part, you don't go around using bone conduction to really enjoy music. You listen to music maybe when you're exercising, but you're not expecting it to knock your socks off. But these actually have decent musical presentation for what they are. You get a little bit of bass, you get pretty decent mids, you get a little bit of highs. They sound better than my OpenRun Pros for sure, noticeably better. Now, again, this is not a review, and I would recommend that if you're interested in bone conduction, you go try them for yourselves. But I'm just telling you, my experience was that I was pleasantly surprised at how much better these sounded for music than my Shokz OpenRun Pro. Now, that said, these are bone conduction, so they don't have, any other super special features. They're not going to turn on when you put them on or turn off when you take them off. They're not going to give you any noise canceling because they're leaving your ears open. These are really designed to keep your ears open, so you're either more safe if you're outside or you're more aware wherever you are, inside or outside. That's really the benefits here. So again, it's really aimed at sports, but you can use it for a variety of things. And the microphones are functional. I have microphone samples compared against the Shokz that I will share with you. This is an audio recording with the OpenRun Pro by Shokz. This is a Bluetooth bone conduction headset that is designed for outdoor activities. This is what it sounds like in a quiet room. I'm going to introduce noise with a portable air purifier. I'm going to turn it on. That's on low. I have it right in my face. That's in medium. Still have it in my face. How do I sound? Can you hear me? Can you understand me? That's on the highest setting. Can you still hear me? Can you understand me? How does it sound? I'm going to turn it off. That has been the OpenRun Pro by Shokz. This is an audio recording test using the Sanag B21S. This is a bone conduction headset. I am going to do my usual noise cancellation test with this portable air purifier that I'm about to turn on. And it is now on. It is on the low setting. Is the microphone still picking me up? How do I sound? I'm going to turn it up to medium. It's on medium now. How does it sound? Can you still hear me and understand me? And I'm going to turn it all the way up to the loudest setting, or the highest setting. This is the highest setting. I still have the air purifier held up to my face. How does it sound? Can you understand me? Am I still clear? I'm going to turn it back off. And that has been the Sanag B21S. But yeah, I think if you're interested in bone conduction, this is actually a pretty decent headset. I've tried probably 3 or 4 other bone conduction headsets over the past, couple of years or so, and these really did pleasantly surprise me. I'm really happy to say. So again, if you're in the market, put these on your list. Try them out. I've got a link with discounts available in the description if you're interested in buying them. That's what I got on the Sanag B21S. Thanks for watching.